Hello and welcome to Ikasan Online Tutorials. My name is Michael Stewart and I'm a core developer on the Ikasan Enterprise Integration Platform. Today I'm going to be giving a short demonstration of the Ikasan Wiretap Service. The Ikasan Wiretap Service allows for data to be collected and inspected as it flows through the Ikasan Enterprise Service bus. The Wiretap Service is an invaluable tool allowing for end-to-end tracking of data events in real time as data flows and mutates throughout the bus. Wiretap events are captured with a timestamp with millisecond precision, along with the location of where the wiretap was triggered. They are also captured with a life identifier that remains immutable for the data event for its entire journey throughout the service bus, even if the underlying data mutates. The correlating elements of the wiretap build a full chronological picture of the flow of data, which can then be queried via the Ikasan dashboard. Wiretap jobs are configured on a component at runtime and record all data events received by that component. The wiretap events can be written to the underlying persistent data store, or alternatively written to the log file. Wiretap events are also written to a text index in order to facilitate a fast and efficient context-based search facility. This service provides a high level of visibility on all data events, and coupled with the transactional guaranteed data delivery features of Ikasan, provides support users with assurance that data has been delivered to all of its intended endpoints. The Wiretap service works out of the box and requires no coding. Okay, now on to the demonstration of the Ikasan Wiretap service. The first thing I'm going to do is log into the Ikasan dashboard using the admin default password. And you can see there that we've got some modules deployed into this environment. So the module that I'm going to be using to demonstrate the Wiretap service is the demo JMS module. And if you've watched the JMS archetype video that's available on the Ikasan YouTube channel, you'll have seen how that module was created. It's very simply done through an archetype. I can click into that module and we can have a look at it. And you can see it's a very simple Ikasan module with one flow, and that flow is consuming a message from a JMS source topic and publishing that message onto a JMS target topic. There's also another module that's being deployed into this environment, and this is a little module that I've created, and it's a trade generation module. Effectively, this is just generating data, so it looks like that there's data flowing through the enterprise service bus, and it gives me the opportunity to demonstrate the features of the Ikasan Wiretap service. And you can see there it's publishing the messages onto our source queue that our demo module subsequently consumes those messages from. There's also an ActiveMQ message broker installed on my machine, and that's what I'm using as the underlying messaging technology to allow this demonstration to happen. Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to be able to set some wiretaps on our components. So if I double click on any of my components in the flow there, you can see there's a number of menu items here available that I can perform on that component. What we're interested in is creating a wiretap on that component. So you've got four options here in relation to creating wiretaps. You can create a wiretap before or after. These two are persisting the underlying data to our persistent store and allows us to search it through the dashboard. And I can also tell it to log the wiretaps to the underlying log file. So perhaps in some situations, I'm happy to just have the log message go to the log file and I can search for that message in the logs. For the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to look at putting it into the persistent store. The idea of having a wiretap before and after a component is also useful because that component might change the data as it moves across the wire, or could even filter the data. So it's a way for us to see what actions are performed on the data by that particular component. Well, for the first thing, I'm just going to put a wiretap after the producer, and I'm going to put another wiretap before the consumer. So effectively what I'm doing there is I'm wiretapping that data at that point there when it first gets consumed off the source queue, and I'm wiretapping it at that point there just prior to it publishing it onto the target queue. And there's another screen of interest here in the dashboard, and that is the search screen. So this is what allows us to be able to search for wiretaps once they've been published on the service bus. So if we have a look here now, there's no wiretaps in the system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start our message generator flow. It's in a running state now. And I'm just going to give this a minute just to let some data flow through. And now what I should be able to do is search for those wiretaps. All right, now you can see some wiretaps have hit the system. So we've got a wiretap before the JMS consumer and after the JMS producer. Another one before the JMS consumer and after the JMS producer. If I hit search again, you'll see more of them being generated. Now, there's a few things of interest here. The first is obviously the timestamp, that we can see exactly down to the millisecond level what time that particular event hit the service bus. We've also got event identifiers here, our live event identifier. So this is the idea of we have the immutable events identifier. That means that we can track our data all the way through the service bus, because that particular event ID remains the same. So I can click on that event ID and it gives me an aggregated view of all of the messages that have been processed and have maintained that event identifier. So if we were hitting many modules within the Ikasan Enterprise Service Bus, I'd be able to see exactly where that data had hit that service bus, and I'd be able to see the chronology of it based on the timestamps, and I'd be able to use that to triangulate the way the data has moved across the bus and help me, remediate any problems or identify where data issues might have occurred. I can also double click on any of these particular grid items, and I can have a look at what the data is that I've got on the wire. So you can see here, we've got a very simple little bit of XML that has been published by my message generator. I can see the module name, I can see the flow that it was hit, I can see exactly the time when that message hit the system. I can also see the component name and where we're actually capturing that event, and I've got the life identifier as well. I can download that particular wiretap item if it's useful for me to do so, and I can also break it out into another screen and look at it in a expanded format. I've also got the opportunity, if I choose to do so, to download all of the items as a zip file, or I can have a look at them in a CSV file, which might be useful for me sharing data with other teams, perhaps, or working through an issue that may have occurred. And this allows me to do some more rich text searching if I want to. I've also mentioned that we're also persisted into an underlying search engine. So I'm able to take any values if I want to narrow a specific element of data. So for example, if I take that trade identifier, which I know my message generator is just generating random trade identifiers. If I copy that trade identifier and then put that into my search, I expect that narrows it down to the individual result for me. So that's the trade identifier there. Other things that we've got the ability to search based on, date, time, range. This is a free-form text field which should take any input and search the entire data set there for occurrences of a given text string. There's more information here on the help pages that it describes exactly how we can search for wiretaps within the Ikasan Enterprise Service Bus. So hopefully that has been useful. Thank you very much for your time today, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to Ikasan Online Tutorials. If you'd like further information on the Ikasan Enterprise Integration Platform, go to github.com/Ikasan EIP. That's lowercase ikasan uppercase EIP. All the links will be in the descriptions of the videos associated with the Ikasan Online Tutorials. And if you've liked what you've seen today, please subscribe to the Ikasan Online Tutorial YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.